$3 million house. Richest.
He's excellent.
There we go.
The Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It is the 22nd day of July, the 204th day of 2020. There are 162 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift, including this dark and humid Wednesday morning, middle of the week. We've got the team together. Dick Hafner just concluded our WJR News, presented the way it's meant to be presented, as news, not opinion. Dayna Clark will be checking our traffic and weather and the social scene, movies, restaurants, whatever's going on. Dayna,
Paul W., it's hump day.
Woo! Almost let that slip by. Brian Morton is pressing all the right buttons in the studio, the only one of us in the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, which I'm not sure we'll ever get back there, but be that as it may, we're able to come to you, and that's what matters. Wherever we are, we're coming to you, loud and clear, social media, as well as at 760 on the AM information dial. Kim is alongside, and wherever we are, of course, Ann Thomas is our executive producer. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning, Deb.
Well, while we were sleeping, an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.8 struck off the coast of Alaska this morning, 60 miles southeast of Perryville, Alaska. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the quake is considered shallow at about 6 miles deep. Anything below 70 kilometers, that's 10 kilometers, I guess, is considered a shallow quake. That's important because shallow earthquakes often cause the most damage compared to the ones that are deeper, regardless of the strength. And then a tsunami warning had been issued following the earthquake. My, oh my, Alaska.
And the good news is the tsunami warning has now been canceled. So that's good. At least
good news.
Have we heard about any damage or anything?
I don't have any in this story.
No
and
information.
Dick has none, so we don't know. It just happened this morning, so there you are. We may complain about the weather around here, but we really have very few major problems except during tornado season and maybe flooding season for our basements and our homes and things like that. But luckily, no earthquakes, no hurricanes, no tsunamis, nothing like that for us. Thank goodness. Well, I made a mental note, which is a big problem these days for me. I made a mental note to at 5 o'clock start waiting to see what the president had to say, and I never did it till it was over and they were talking about it. When they're talking about it, you never get a true story of what really took place. So did any of you actually see his first task force or
I saw
coronavirus update or anything as it
10
happened?
minutes, last 10 minutes of it, because I forgot to. But the last 10 minutes I saw, he was encouraging everyone to wear a mask, young people to not go to bars. And it was an about face for him. He was reading off of his notes, which was a good idea.
Very good idea.
Good idea.
The notes when he's talking about
he pretty much
medical issues.
Yeah, he stuck to the script for the most part. So it was good.
Well, good. That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It is 5:42 on this Wednesday, or as Dayna would say, hump day. With our WJR traffic and weather first, Dayna is here.
This report is sponsored by the podcast True Romance.
Hi, I'm Devin Leary.
And I'm Carolina Barlow.
And we're here to tell you to dump him.
Break up with your boyfriend.
It's time.
Find True Romance wherever you get your podcasts to find out why.
Well, there's a helpful podcast to start off the day.
Yeah.
At 5:43, Dayna is here.
Well, we could see some raindrops throughout the morning drive. Right now, it looks pretty just cloudy in most areas. Traffic First also sponsored by Restore Wellness Center. Are you experiencing nagging body pain, tired of taking medication for relief, neck and back, arthritis, tendonitis, muscle soreness, and more? The Restore Wellness Center can help relieve or eliminate the pain completely and get you back to work. Reserve your appointment today. Call 800-935-5959 in Brighton, Shelby, and Bloomfield, or restorewellnesscenter.com. Just construction out there. Southfield Freeway northbound at Michigan Avenue, single lane closures scheduled there early through early November. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 32 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com.
I see some damp streets this morning. Still a few showers lingering, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. And as we go through the day, a mix of clouds and sunshine with scattered showers and thunderstorms, 83. Tonight, a hit or miss shower thunderstorm, not much rain overnight, 68. Thursday looks great. Plenty of sunshine with a few afternoon clouds, high 83. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, News Talk 760 WJR.
Let's check in now with Rush Limbaugh, who's usually with us noon to 3, but right now at 5:44, he's touching base.
On Tuesday, longtime Village Voice editor Pete Kotz posted an online piece, Dear America, 5 better places to target the next time you go rioting. Now, this guy says that his readers need a better strategy. Don't torch the AutoZone. Don't torch a local bar. You use them. Instead, he said, rioters ought to attack 5 places that make America not great. First, to get back at the NRA, Kotz says that his readers ought to torch the local gun shop instead of burning down restaurants. Next, says the University of Phoenix should be targeted because they supposedly fool kids who have no business going to college to get worthless degrees while getting buried in debt. Then comes Wells Fargo, the nation's 4th largest bank, a symbol of unequal justice, according to Mr. Kotz. Rioters should take revenge. Next up, rioters ought to find the nearest Amazon warehouse and burn it down. Jeff Bezos and his buddies are guilty of weaponizing technology against their own workers. They come close to recreating a plantation economy. And last but not least, Kotz says that J.P. Morgan should be attacked since they're the biggest American bank and criminal enterprise. Now, he may pretend it's all a joke, but it isn't. This is what's inside these twisted, deranged liberal minds, and it's now on American streets. It's serious stuff.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3, today, right here on WJR. Well, that's kind of funny. Places that should be attacked.
Yeah.
Remember when Wells Fargo was such a good bank, or at least we thought it was? They weren't going to have to take bailout money. Was that 2008, Dick? They weren't going to take bailout money, but they were made to take it. And it seems like from then on, it was a slippery slope down. Maybe they were always bad. I don't have any idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But you are right. So it looks to me, boy, did you see Chicago? 14 people shot near a Chicago funeral home last night.
I mean, I'm sorry. That's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but when you're there because someone's dead, probably from some other violent reason, and then somebody started shooting, and several people pulled out their guns and started shooting back.
Really?
I mean, it's really the wild, wild west, and they get away with it. I mean, Chicago is way worse than I think we ever were in Detroit. But remember when it was Detroit in the national news? What a terrible place we were, and Chicago seemingly gets away with it right now. But that's so sad. What a wonderful city that's fallen apart and under the worst of management, if you will. Same thing's happening with New York City. In fact, I wrote some figures down. I couldn't believe crime. Well, in Atlanta, I only have 2 of them real quick. In Atlanta, there is a 300% spike this summer in shootings from last summer, same time, from this period of last year. 300% more shootings in Atlanta. And in New York City, up more than 200% in what used to proclaim itself as the world's safest large city has slipped backwards into the darkness of bad leadership and defunding the police and everything else. Sooner or later, no one's going to want to be a cop. And then it's, those little promos they run, those little commercials where someone calls 911. Boy, the scariest one is now of a little old lady and someone's breaking into her house and she calls 911 and it's a recording.
Detroit has had some trouble in the past couple of days, too. We had a big shooting, 3 men shot last night at a gas station. The night before, I think it was 4 people shot at a Coney Island. I mean,
these are those, some of these appear to be green light areas because there's fabulous cameras.
Yes.
I watched the shooting at the hot dog place.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760
here.
WJR.
As we continue at 5:49, coming on, I mentioned John Bon Jovi just bought a $43 million house. So, he's doing okay, which got Kim to thinking about the top 10 richest rock and roll, or what did you call it? Celebrities, music, rock stars. Guess who's number 10? This is what happens when you made your money over 50 years ago.
Bob Seger.
Ringo Starr.
Oh.
His net worth, after it's been 50, 60 years, really, $340 million.
Not
And
bad.
I'll
take that.
He's in 10th.
You're right.
Number 9, the man with the famous tongue.
Ooh, Kiss, Gene
Simmons.
Right,
Okay.
you are. Net worth $350 million. Number 8, and he was a brilliant guy, went to the London Economics School, or the School of Economics in London. Mick Jagger.
Oh, okay.
$360 million. A newcomer in terms of guys that we've just mentioned, but Sting has not been around that long. Doing good work, apparently pays well.
Around 30 years.
$400 million.
I
Is he
love
30
Sting.
years?
Yes.
It's been 30 years? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
he's
it's
an
still
old
not
timer.
50. Yeah. It's still not like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, but it's a long
Yeah.
time. Well, here's a guy that's been
They're
around a
elderly.
long time and has a lot of parrot heads that love him.
Oh, I know who this is. Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett, $410 million. That's a lot of wasted time in Margaritaville.
He's great.
Or
guy.
not.
Yep. There's John Bon
Changes
Jovi.
in latitude, changes in attitude.
That's right.
John
I
Bon
like that,
Jovi
Dick.
can buy a $43 million house and then some, because his net worth is $420 million. And in 4th place, the Rocket Man. No,
Oh.
not the guy from North Korea. Elton John, $450 million. And he's been in, I don't know, he apparently isn't anymore, but he's been in financial trouble because of
has
his
he?
wild spending.
Oh, yeah.
You know how wild your spending has to be to cause trouble when you're worth $400+ million?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
bad.
It's got to be really crazy spending. The Boss, $500 million.
Wow.
All right. $500 million. So
And
now
we're at number 3. Is the boss
that was number 3. So let's take a guess. I know what number 1 is. I knew it, and you'll probably know it. But who's number 2?
No clue.
Jay-Z.
Me.
Bono. Jay-Z's not on here, surprisingly. Bono is, though.
Bono.
And if you
okay.
do good work, you make some money on the side. $700 million is his net worth.
Wow.
Okay.
And number 1 is not a surprise, even though he made his money starting well over 50 years ago with a net worth of $1.2 billion. The guy who never stops working, Paul McCartney.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's up $100 million this year.
Wow. He's awesome.
It's not a bad year.
Goodness.
He is awesome, and he still performs, and he puts on a great show.
He does.
And I think he has, I think in many ways, as his voice has changed, as anyone's would be, and as you get older, you age a bit, and you've used that instrument a long time, he's kind of changed his way of singing so that it works for him. He can't hit all the notes he used to be able to hit. So he doesn't try to hit those notes, because nothing in his transition, there was nothing more painful than watching him try to hit some of those notes that no one really expected him to hit. Some people have fallen out of the top ranks. And one of them is a guy I cannot believe is still alive.
Ozzy Osbourne?
That would have been good too. But Keith Richards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's right up there with the...
But don't cry for Keith. He's still at 330 million. So
he can't take it with him.
Nope.
And so he's spending it on illegal drugs, apparently. Still, maybe they're all legal. Maybe it's finally, after all these years. Hey, there's something very special coming up, and I actually called John Ahee, my dear friend John Ahee, to tell him about this, because he really places himself. In fact, when we did the special for the Father Solanus Casey, and they had the big mass and everything. John Ahee was featured as being one of Father Solanus Casey's miracles. And he just had some more important surgery, and John is in our thoughts and prayers. But I wanted to let him know, and I want to let you know, that honoring Blessed Solanus Casey, 9 days of public masses starting today. And the masses, daily novena masses, will be at 7:45 in the morning, I think, during the weekdays, and then the Mass July 26th will be held at 9 a.m. And they'll all be on the various television networks, YouTube channels, Twitter, Blessed Solanus Casey Facebook page, things like that. But here's the real news for our family. The daily novena masses will be celebrated by His Excellency Gerard Battersby, Auxiliary Bishop of Detroit. And for those who don't know and always know that I refer to her as Ann Thomas, that is her real name, but her real name since her marriage 57 years ago to our barrister Battersby, Edmund Battersby, is Ann Thomas Battersby. That's your brother-in-law.
Right. Yes.
Isn't
And
that
Ed
cool?
reminded me, yes, it's very cool. But Ed reminded me that his mom was taken to Father Blessed Solanus Casey back when she was a little girl for stomach problems. And she was cured from that.
Oh, really? Another one of
Yes.
the miracles.
Yes.
I may have to call upon Father.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
I do believe he can still perform miracles from afar.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say. It is 5:56 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by the podcast True Romance.
Hi, I'm Devin Leary,
And I'm Carolina Barlow.
and we're here to tell you to dump him.
Break up with your boyfriend.
It's time.
Find True Romance wherever you get your podcasts to find out why.
That's what I want, all of my help from a couple of radio podcasters. That's what I'm going to put all my eggs on that basket. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's check it now. Our WJR traffic and weather first. Miss Dayna Clark.
Right now, it's nice and quiet out there. Traffic First sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties. If you're looking for a place to call home, let North Bloomfield Properties find the best place for you and your family. They also provide pre-screened quality tenants to their property owners. They love to match good people to good homes. Contact them today, northbloomfield.com. Just looking at construction, 14-mile both directions between Greenfield and Crooks. That's in Royal Oak. Construction reducing that area to just one lane through November. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Starline Mackinac Island Ferry. Hightail it to Mackinac Island on a Starline hydrojet or catamaran ferry, and now a new pirate ship, the Good Fortune. Starline offers the largest open-air boats disinfected before every trip, with fares starting at $19. Get discount tickets and vacation packages at MackinacFerry.com. That's MackinacFerry.com. Expecting some rain showers later this afternoon. Clouds this morning. Thunderstorms developing this afternoon, a high of 83. That's a humidity high, though, 82% humidity. So bad hair day ahead. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms this evening. Your overnight low 70, then partly cloudy on into Thursday. Clouds and sun on Thursday, a high of 82. Cloudy skies, 73 degrees. I'm Dayna Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
So I was looking at Paul McCartney just to see if he had anything scheduled for next year.
Yeah.
I've noticed that all these concerts are moved to next year.
Yeah,
He doesn't have anything scheduled.
Nothing.
No. I wonder.
Paul, you're on mute.
He is in that dangerous age spectrum.
You're right.
How old is he?
To stay at home.
Kim, do you know how old Paul McCartney
gotta
is?
be
77?
He's pushing 80.
He's pushing 80.
Yeah, he better stay inside.
Let's just get this clear. He doesn't need the money.
No.
Sure doesn't. Right. Right.
You see the first 78, I guess 77. So that
You
was
were pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I 78 is he the first rock star to break the $1 billion mark?
Could be.
I think he probably is at 1.2 billion.
Wow.
You know, his daughter, was it Stella? Stella McCartney.
Yes.
She was a very successful, or is very successful in her own right. Now, maybe people looked at her and gave her a chance in designing clothing and things like that because of her last name. But the point is, if it were only based on her last name, that would have come and gone by now.
Yeah.
She's been designing for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has. Annie, are you related to that young lady, Maura Battersby?
Yes.
Okay, because I was
walking. Maura is my niece. The one Maura's running for Oakland County Circuit Judge.
Yes, she has a huge sign. I was walking yesterday up 14 Mile Road and I almost ran into it. It's huge. And I meant to ask you that.
How did you almost run into a huge
Because I was walking and it was just there, right at the corner. And I was jamming to my Hamilton soundtrack and I almost didn't see it.
The buds were bopping.
Yes. Yes, some trees need to be cut. But yes, I saw that.
Yes.
I meant your earbuds. Your earbuds.
That too.
You were doing your thing.
Yes. I was singing to myself. Anyway, so yeah. Well, good luck to her.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, she's
Wait
fabulous.
Yes.
What did I do here?
I don't know. We still see you.
I tried to turn that noise off. You know, when you get emails and things, the computer makes that noise.
Yes.
But if I turn that off, I can't hear through the computer.
Oh, yes.
Technology there.
A little technology issue.
Yeah.
Good morning to all the Facebookers. Wow, everybody's up this morning.
Oh, I got to get over to comments instead of Brian's thing over here. Ooh, we got a lot of nice people.
The gangs of Wide
Don
Awake.
says, wasn't David Bowie the first billionaire?
I don't think he hit $1 billion. I'm sure he was very, very wealthy. I don't know that, though. I don't know. You know, it used to be when we look at these lists, you know who used to show up years after his death was Elvis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I suspect, that's another list. How about that one, Kim? Dead rock stars who are still making money. Because I guarantee you that Michael Jackson's still making money.
Yes.
Elvis's estate is still making money. That's
sad about his
macabre, but it's
grandson.
Which one now? What are you talking about?
Elvis's grandson.
Grandson died.
Lisa Marie's son
committed
suicide.
Yeah.
He was 27. And speaking of that, Kelly Preston passed last week. A lot of
cancer.
People,
a lot of deaths.
A lot of people. Someone else I'm forgetting. But
this says David Bowie's net worth at the time of his death in 2016 was $230 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops. Here I ask him.
Here it is.
And I get
here it is. Look.
And the top dead money makers. Michael Jackson is at the top.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
60 million. Elvis Presley, 39 million.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Schultz, the Peanuts cartoonist.
Oh, yeah.
He's been dead a while. 38 million his estate made. Good old Arnold Palmer, 30 million. Bob Marley. Yeah, man. Irie.
Right.
No problem. 20 million. Dr. Seuss, 19 million.
Oh.
Even John Lennon is keeping Yoko in money at 14 million. Yoko and Sean. Marilyn Monroe. How in the world did the Marilyn Monroe estate make $13 million last year?
All those pictures that
Yeah,
she
but
still
Knew
tells.
a lot of.
How about Prince?
important
Patrick
people.
says, which
Prince is right after Marilyn
Okay.
Monroe at 12 million. Nipsey Hussle, who's newly departed, 11 million. Temptation, a rapper, I don't know him. Temptation, I don't know who that is. 10 million.
Okay.
This is such a sad story. If only somebody could have reached Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
She
Tragic.
had so much to live for, so talented, so everything, and what a troubled life. 9.5 million, and George Harrison's estate still made 9 million. Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Brian says they license her image, Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
which
but
is what I
my
thought.
goodness gracious, I wouldn't think. I mean, with all due respect,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought the Marilyn Monroe images would
it's
be
popular.
that iconic still.
They're so popular.
It seems like all of the iconic ones have been out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like this year we saw 10 new images that we'd never
Right.
seen of Marilyn Monroe
They're the same
before.
ones.
But people like vintage stuff
Yes.
and collectors.
Every
that
time
kind of
somebody
thing.
uses one of those pictures where she's standing above a heat grate and holding her dress down, that's one of her famous ones.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Every time they print that, they have to pay, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You'll pay for this.
So you know
Yes.
how we're having that restaurant CEO of the head of the Restaurant and Lodging Association CEO on, Paul?
Yes, yes.
There was another incident. I guess it was earlier this month on July 10th where a guy assaulted two workers when they asked him to put on a mask here in Utica.
It's a terrible situation.
You don't have to get that mad about that.
No,
Right. Seriously.
so not.
Is it that
Here's a problem. Everyone's mad anyway.
Right.
I mentioned that a while ago.
They're
That study that everybody's in a funk because of this
Right.
ridiculousness that we're surrounded by.
Yes, you're
Whether
right.
whether you're at this end of the scale, think it's all a hoax, or at this end of the scale, think you'll never leave the house again. Whatever it is, it's tension, and
Either
it's
way, you're
trouble.
frosty.
Yeah.
You are absolutely
You don't have to
frosty.
get that mad.
Frosty is a nice way to put it. Frosty. Hey, that reminds me. Remind me that we have to talk a little bit about what we're going to try to do this Monday.
Yes.
We think it's important that you, as a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, or even a student who's about to be made to go back to school, we want to make sure that you're safe. And
Why don't
so
we get Sophie to come on? I want to see what she thinks. She's
Oh,
going to be
boy.
a senior.
Yeah.
she is going to be a senior. I just spoke to her about that last night at dinner.
Mhm.
And she's very ready to go back to school. She
Yeah.
is like her friends; they're bored, and she's been working. She's been doing her little job, Sophie's Shop, online, and she's been teaching very.
The Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
Cleared out my sinuses.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Don't make me hurt myself.
good Wednesday morning to you. That's right, it's Wednesday, Dayna.
It's hump day.
July 22nd, the 204th day of 2020, with 162 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift, including this hot, humid beginning of this 22nd day of July, feeling like summer and then some. Dick Hafner just concluded the news the way it was meant to be, presented as news. What a novel idea, rather than a 5 or 6 minute editorial comment. I wish that people like, the New York Times, the major networks, CNN, CNBC, would understand the difference between news and editorial. Oh, well. Dayna Clark understands the difference. She's all about editorial. She is all there. Don't forget, there's no news here. There might be a traffic note or a weather note, but it's editorial. Dayna Clark, thanks for your help. Brian Morton back in the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building. He's actually I don't like to bring this up, but he's chained to his chair.
Right.
And we bring him food and water. Well, we don't bring him food and water, but somebody we hope does. Kim is alongside as always, and of course our executive producer, Miss Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Deb.
Good morning, Ann.
Can you imagine how happy Brian is? His dream has come
Yes,
true.
none of us are there. The only problem is he can't wear the T-shirt that says
Right.
"I'm with stupid," and it has an arrow going both ways, so he covers himself. He's with stupid everywhere. Hey,
I think Brian actually misses us.
Do you?
He said
really?
he doesn't wear pants anymore.
well, there's another
much,
reason to
Brian.
stay away.
Right.
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
I want to remind people again, because some people wake up at 6. You lucky people.
Right.
The Novena Masses honoring Blessed Solanus Casey. 9 days of public masses starting today. And the big news, besides that big news, is that our own relative to the show, the celebrated His Excellency Gerard Battersby, the auxiliary bishop of Detroit, will be doing those masses.
Is he doing all of them?
Yeah, well, the way this press release reads, he is. And that is Ann Thomas's brother-in-law. Our barrister Battersby, Ed Battersby, our legal counsel of note here and of record, that's his brother. You got priests, you got judges, you got
Battersby's everywhere.
Battersby's or Thomas's doing something important everywhere. Dr. Joel Kahn's coming up a little later. He does not stop sending stuff. So I've got another. There's something going on at Beaumont that he is all over. Dick,
Oh, really?
are you aware of the circumstances at Beaumont? There's a no confidence petition drive that targets the Beaumont CEO and chief medical officer and a whole bunch of other people. There's something about their investments.
Been bubbling there at Beaumont for a long time. A lot of employees are very unhappy. People have been getting laid off at Beaumont, and this is in front of a merger between Beaumont and another health system, and that always has the employees unsettled, and that's what's going on at Beaumont.
There's a Los Angeles freelance writer who is a former Detroit News business reporter who has a study out. He has a blog called Starkman Approved, and the headline, Starkman, Beaumont board promotes $1.1 billion in investments, but the promises are not worth the paper they're printed on. So, I mean, he refers to it as Beaumont as a beleaguered healthcare workers and all that. So anyway, I wasn't aware until I saw this stuff because, we're not in that world or in that business.
As we know, all the healthcare systems are under the gun financially. They've been bleeding millions of dollars during this virus, and the losses continue.
Oh yeah, it is going to come to a head, and it's going to be ugly. I believe that's my prediction, because you're right. All the hospitals everywhere, and yet you still see some hospitals building. And you start to say, well, okay, I'm assuming that they put pencil to paper and figured out they really need this area or these beds or whatever. And, for specializations like cancer and other things, I understand that. But a lot of these places are hurting for certain. And now as the pandemic seems to have spiked, it hasn't spiked, I don't think, yet. I was looking at the chart yesterday. In terms of 3 or 4 days after, maybe a little longer, after the 4th of July, it really spiked. I mean, when you see the daily numbers, it went up 200 or 300 into the 600s and whatever. I don't know if that's happened again when we consider this potential secondary spike, or if it's not secondary, it's just a continuation of the original spike. And then they talk about
Michigan is doing a lot better, Deb, than a lot of other states. That's for sure. We are doing
He must be
way
talking
better.
about Michigan.
Yes, he's talking about Michigan. Michigan's doing way better than other states.
I was talking about the Michigan spikes.
Some of these other states look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, they are.
It's exploded.
It's
has
terrible.
exploded everywhere. I got the numbers here somewhere, but our current numbers are,
Not too
you might
bad.
have given it, Dick, but cases up to 74,725, death toll 6,135 of our colleagues, our friends, our neighbors, our families. And I said this yesterday, we're still using that 55,000 recoveries confirmed. And that's important. And there are problems out there. We just heard of a guy who was killed in a motorcycle accident, and it was listed as a COVID-19 death. I mean, there are going to be problems here, folks. And I don't know if we'll ever get the bottom line on all this stuff. 613 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If finding a high-impact hire is a serious goal for your business, use Indeed. Their flexible payment options mean better bang for your buck with no long-term contracts. Indeed will even give you a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post at Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
6:14 on this Wednesday morning, middle of the week hump day, Paul W. Smith Show, as we check our WJR traffic and weather first, and we do that with Miss Dayna Clark.
We do have an accident reported in Genesee. Traffic First, also sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where you pick out the vehicle you would love to drive and receive a worksheet with 18 different purchase and lease payments for you to choose from, and do this from the comfort of their outdoor showroom and covered patio seating. Gordon Chevrolet on Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. M54, both directions northbound and southbound between Davison Road and Richfield Road, closed there in Genesee County due to a multi-vehicle crash. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Mechanical Contractors Association of Detroit. When your commercial, industrial, public, or residential project calls for plumbers, pipe fitters, or HVAC service technicians, the Mechanical Contractors Association of Detroit connects you with the very best, highly skilled and trained union contractors. To get started on your next project, visit mcadetroit.org.
Some damp streets out there this morning, a couple of leftover showers and some scattered showers and thunderstorms stay in today's forecast with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures held down, but seasonable 83. An isolated shower thunderstorm tonight, 68. Sunshine, a few clouds around tomorrow with a high of 83. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick on News Talk 760 WJR.
Lawrence Technological University graduates earn a degree and a higher starting salary. In fact, when it comes